Hi, everybody. Former librarian Corinne Smith here today, doing something different, and I'm going to share my opinions about a series of children's books that I really like. And they are the Mr. Putter and Tabby series of books written by Cynthia Rylant with illustrations by Arthur Howard. Mr. Putter and Tabby. There are 25 books in the series. That was the first one. Here's the pile of all of the rest. And these are chapter books generally recommended for children ages 6 to 9. I think they are much more than this. And so that's what I want to share with you today. So let me introduce you to the characters and to the stories. The main characters are Mr. Putter and Tabby. And as you can tell, here's when they meet for the very first time. As you can tell, Mr. Putter is a person of a certain age, shall we say. And Tabby is also of a certain age. And they make quite good companions. They have a lot in common. They are both especially good at taking naps. Now, sometimes Mr. Putter does get ideas to do something, and when he does a number of times, it's because he's thinking of something he did as a young boy. So sometimes we get to see him as a young boy, and then he gets an idea of something to do that recaptures that moment that he remembers. Mr. Putter and Tabby live right next door to their very best friends, Mrs. Teaberry and her good dog Zeke. See how close they live to each other. Mrs. Teaberry is also a person of a certain age, as you can see. She's also a senior citizen. But unlike Mr. Putter, she is busy, all the time busy. And she loves to go on adventures. She has a wide variety of interests. And sometimes she coerces. No, sometimes she convinces Mr. Putter and Tabby to go along with her and Zeke on their adventures. She also cooks lots of treats for everybody, which is a good idea because Mr. Putter is not so good at cooking. And at the end of a very stressful day, sometimes they have stressful days, everybody likes to retreat to their very favorite ice cream parlor. As for Zeke, he is always described as good dog Zeke. Is Zeke a good dog? You can make up your own mind about that. I'm sure Mrs. Teaberry thinks Zeke is a good dog. I think Mr. Putter knows the truth about Zeke and keeps it to himself. Whether you will think that Zeke is a good dog or not, that's going to be up to you. So, obviously, Mr. Putter and Mrs. Teaberry are people who are us senior citizens. And from what I've shown you already, you can probably guess that they are very different people, but they're still good friends. And Mr. Putter is more of an introvert. Mrs. Teaberry is more of an extrovert, and that's okay. And Tabby and Zeke both reflect the personalities of their people. Both the storylines and the artwork evolve throughout the series. So, and you might not catch these differences unless you see the whole series. So let's do that. Let's consider the artwork first. Arthur Howard's illustrations become more defined over time. Again, this is the first time that Mr. Putter and Tabby meet. In the very first book, Mr. Putter and Tabby pour the tea. And here they are in the last book, which is Mr. Putter and Tabby hit the slope. So here they are in the last book. See if I can get these together. See how they have evolved? See how they have evolved? But I can tell you that even in the last book, they still are both very good at taking naps. Isn't that wonderful? Isn't that wonderful? Okay, so you get a sense of their personalities through the drawings, all of the characters, including Tabby and Zeke. And here's Tabby and Zeke sliding down the hill in the snow in the last episode. Mr. Putter and Tabby hit the slope. Cool. Again, if you look closely at the entire series, like we just did, then you'll see the differences in the illustrations, but they're all good characters, and you get the sense of what they are, no matter what they think. And we all change over time, right? This is a good thing. We all evolve over time. Okay, so where am I going to next? This is a work in progress, as you can tell. The illustrations also quietly show you the differences between these two people, between these two households. Here's Mr. Putter mowing his lawn in the summertime, and Mrs. Teaberry mowing her lawn. As you can see, Mr. Putter lives in a big old-fashioned Victorian kind of house, and he's using a push mower. Mrs. Teaberry, of course, has a power mower, and she lives in looks like a mid-century modern ranch house. Okay, so you can see the differences here. Now, what do you think is going to happen in winter? Can you guess what's going to happen in winter? Mr. Putter's going to use a snow shovel, and Mrs. Teaberry, of course, has a snow blower. Of course she does. And Zeke and Tabby obviously try to help from a distance. You can also see these differences in the way that they communicate with one another, which is on the phone. All right. Mr. Putter has a landline, a wall phone. And at first, Mrs. Teaberry has a mobile phone here with the little antenna. Remember those? Where you had a little device sitting on your kitchen table and you put that into it? Yeah. But later in the series, she upgrades. Can you guess? She upgrades. Of course she does, because she's Mrs. Teaberry. So she upgrades to more of a cell phone, and she even has a computer. Yeah. So you can see these slight differences. You know, nobody's telling you that in the story. You just see it through the illustrations of the differences of the two people, if you're looking for them. Okay. So as we advance from book to book, the storylines get more adventurous. Mrs. Teaberry has lots of ideas. She gets Mr. Putter to do lots of things that maybe he wouldn't have tried on his own, which is okay. We can stretch our limits, right? Yeah. Until at the very end, everybody is sledding down the hill. Would you have thought it? Would you have thought that Mr. Putter and Mrs. Teaberry would be sledding down the hill? Isn't that cool? It's cool. I like these characters. I like the stories. And when you think about it, I believe that there are at least 6 quiet lessons to be learned from the Mr. Putter and Tabby series. And so we're going to go through them if I can find them. Hang on with me. Okay. The first lesson. Sometimes the simplest things are the best, including what we can do for other people. Mr. Putter and Mrs. Teaberry are always helping each other out, and that's a good thing. You know, that's a good thing. They both have their own strengths in that regard. Number 2, as you have seen, every person is unique, right? You've already caught that in their demeanors. Every person is unique. Okay, and that's okay. And even 2 people who are friends and are similar in age can be quite different. No, senior citizens are not all alike. Number 3, Even people who are different from one another can be good friends who can help one another. And this means men and women, cat people and dog people, introverts, extroverts, all kinds of different people. They're different, but they're still friends. They help each other out. Number 4, older folks are people too, and they can have fun too, right? It's Mrs. Teaberry. She's going to have adventures. She's going to have fun. And she's going to make sure that Mr. Tabby and Mr. Putter and Tabby do too. I knew I was going to get that wrong. All right, number 5, and this is a key component in the book. Comfort food is very important. Yes, it is. And here they are again at their favorite ice cream parlor. And then number 6, sometimes stuff happens, you know, things just don't go the way you expected. Stuff can happen. And, you know, you can't worry about it. Just go with the flow. Enjoy the outcome, whatever it is. Figure out what to do next. But, you know, stuff happens. Stuff happens in a couple of these books, which is pretty cool, which is another reason why I like them. I mean, with these characters, these 4 characters, on the surface, you think, well, how interesting can they be? Oh yeah, they can. Especially with Zeke, shall we say. Zeke is always the critical component to how much adventure there is in the story. All right. For example, don't you want to know how we got to this point? Don't you? The Mr. Putter and Tabby stories are obviously published again as chapter books for young readers, and generally are targeted from ages 6 to 9. But the bottom line for me is that anybody can read these books. I mean, don't just say, oh, they're for children. Anybody can read them. Anybody at any age can enjoy them. Cat lovers like them, dog lovers like them. You know, I think these stories would be great choices for cross-generational reading sessions. Grandparents and grandchildren sharing them with one another in either direction. Grandparents with the grandchildren with the grandparents. In fact, I think these books would make terrific additions to the libraries of senior facilities. I mean, if you are a person of a certain age, which a lot of us are, don't you want to read about the adventures of these people? Forget about, you know, simple stories. Can't everybody enjoy a simple story? After all, these are great characters and they're having adventures and having fun. All right. Who wouldn't want to read about them? And for all these reasons, I just love the Mr. Putter and Tabby books. Many thanks to Cynthia Rylant and Arthur Howard for giving us this much enjoyment, and also for Harcourt and Houghton Mifflin for publishing and giving us these stories. Now, one last remark. I've got 2 of my favorites, if you want to start with them. Okay, action-packed. Number 15, Mr. Putter and Tabby spin the yarn. And number 18, Mr. Putter and Tabby spill the beans. Start with these 2 and you will not be disappointed. Thanks for sharing this moment with me, and thanks for listening to the stories about Mr. Putter and Tabby and Mrs. Teaberry and Zeke. Check them out at your local library. Thanks. I'm Corinne Smith. See you next time.